Okay, everyone, today we're going to talk about how to find the least common multiple. So basically, when we're talking about multiples, we're talking about the numbers that fit into the numbers times tables. So for example, if we have the 8 here, any multiples of 8 would be numbers that are in the 8 times tables. So we have 8 times 1 gives me 8, 8 times 2 gives me 16, 8 times 3 gives me 24, 8 times 4 gives me 32, so on, so forth. I can keep going for as long as I want, but a good rule is to start with the first 5. Usually these least common multiple questions won't make you go beyond that, so that's what I always do. Once I have some of those multiples down, I'm just going to find the multiples of my other numbers as well. So multiples of 10, so I think of the tens timetable, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and once again I can do more, but that's probably good. Those are some pretty high numbers. And finally I have my number 4 here, so I do my 4 times tables. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, then I have 12, 16, 20, 24, I can keep going, but once again those numbers are getting pretty big. So now that I have all 3 of the multiples of all 3 of my numbers, in order to find the least common multiple, I'm going to find the first number that all 3 of these rows have in common. So I'm going to look at my 3 rows. Let's see. Well, I see that the 8 and the 10 both have a 40, but my row for the 4 doesn't have a 40. Maybe it will if I keep doing multiples of 4. So sometimes you might have to do more than 5 multiples. So in this case, I'm going to keep going because I have a feeling that that is a good option for us. So if I keep going, 28, then I have 32, 36, 40. There we go. We have another 40. So now all 3 of these multiple rows have a 40 in them. Because all 3 have a 40, I know that my least common multiple is 40. That means that's the lowest number that is in all 3 of those times tables. Let's do another one really quickly too. So let's look at the 7 and 14. Now this one we had to do a lot of work for. Sometimes you don't have to do all that work. Let's see about these two. So I'm going to write down the numbers in my 7 times tables. 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5, 35, and once again, I can keep going. I don't necessarily have to. And then I'm going to look at my 14 times tables. Now this one might take a little bit of effort on my part. We can do it in our head or we can multiply it out on the side. Does not matter. Let's go ahead. 14 times 1 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. 14 times 3 is 42, I believe. And once again, we can keep going, but I already see something really cool with these 2 multiples. I see that both of them have a 14, and both of them have a 28. So in this case, we have more than one number in common in our multiples. If we want to find the least common multiple, which one do you suppose we're going to take? Well, I think if we're doing the least, we have to take the lowest number, which is 14. So the least common multiple in this one is going to be 14, just like the least common multiple in this one was 40. There we go. That is how you do your least common multiple. Thank you very much.